Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee! This time around, we are going to be getting all the way to the Fighting Dojo and escaping Fuchsia City from the Ninja Master and talking to various trainers. I will note that this is probably one of the few parts that took me over an hour to record, because the amount of trainer encounters on this route, my goodness, it just took so long. And with all of the trainer encounters removed, it saves so much time. So much time. It's unbelievable. It's genuinely unbelievable. But that's besides the point. I'm just thinking of a what if scenario. Imagine if this game had free cam, like in the wild area of Sword and Shield, or the entire game of Scarlet and Violet, but kept this art style. An entire free camera game with this art style. Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. Phenomenal, even. I would just enjoy it to such an extent, and I really hope that they could do something like this, because this game, graphically, is so nice. It's basic, definitely. But could you imagine if they did this with free cam? Have it escape the restrictions of being a top-down perspective? It would be so cool. I would like it so much. Now, ignoring that, there will be one aspect of this game that I won't be showing off. Well, two. I won't be showing off the Pokemon peripheral, the Pokeball that you could get at the store, and I will not be showing off the Go Park. The reason being, I don't like Pokemon Go, so all of the Pokemon Go related features will not be here. But that's mostly it. I do have Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I could migrate my Kanto Pokemon here, but I don't want to. I really don't want to. This game is already easy enough. If I decided to migrate my Kanto team from Sword and Shield, from Sun and Moon, it would be blatantly unfair to the game. But that's besides the point. Let's just look at how good this game is. This Lapras has more character to it, despite being a very basic model that looks like it's ripped out of the 3DS, as opposed to a lot of what's going on in Scarlet and Violet. Now, I did make myself, starting now, I will make myself do my best to avoid talking about Scarlet and Violet, because I know that my hateful comments, quote unquote, despite them not being hateful and mostly rational, about the story will get annoying to some. So for the most part, I will do my best to criticize only gameplay of that game and not the story, because I already said everything I wanted to say about the story in that game. Still, there is something about having two trainers in this that's just so nice. This should be a feature for all the main series games. The fact that it's not, man, it's so disappointing. Could you imagine you and a buddy sitting next to each other on your comfy couch with the TV displaying the game? He's got a controller, you got a controller, and you're just playing through it? That would be so nice. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Also, January 19th, Pal World comes out, so everybody save your money. The Pokemon, quote-unquote, Pokemon Killer has come out. It's supposed to be like GTA, Fortnite, and Pokemon all in one. I don't know how, but that's how it was described to me. I might stream it. I actually might stream it, depending on how the game is. If it has a beginning, middle, end, I'll let's play it. Why not? Because it sounds like a good game. I looked into it. It looks good, and I hope that it is good. I like shooter games. I like games with collectibles. And you can build things in it, so I'm just down for that. I really am. Now, we got the lab coat finally, so we can now have the black and white theme going. And I do like that. In addition, like I've done before for the rest of the series, I will be editing out the wild encounters. You will only see the aftermath. Like that. I know that if you watch this in the playlist, that it sounds like I'm being redundant, but you should know for future purposes, if you are watching this in the future, that these were recorded over a month from each other in terms of their upload date. So they were uploaded over a month difference from each other. Because that is just what happens when you decide to run so many series back to back. I think that what I'm going to do is I will stream a game if I want to play something new. But then, if I want to continue the Let's Play series, which is not going to go on a hiatus because I have stuff already filled out, but I am back in school, back in the master's program, and because of that, there are some things that I just have to accept, that I won't have as much time as I used to, and I am still looking for more work. I need to get a higher paying job so that I can pay for more things. I'm trying to save up for a Steam Deck OLED, believe it or not, because I want to have my Pokemon Heart Gold, Black and White 1 and Black and White 2 on widescreen. Well, not even widescreen, just at a higher, on a bigger screen, because Heart Gold Soul Silver is just the game that I love to death. Same goes for Black and White 2. I think Black and White 2 is the better game, but my favorite game is still Heart Gold Soul Silver. There's a reason behind that statement, and if you haven't heard, then you're not going to hear it here. Just look at my other videos for that context. I do want to eventually do some of the cancelled series again. For example, I do want to completely play through the Spellbound Caves that I did for Minecraft, that I completely gave up on because honestly, I could not handle it. I was so bored during that. It stopped being fun for me. If it's fun for you, I might do it again, but I just don't want to do another Vex super hardcore map. It's just not the kind of thing I want to do right now. I might go back and do it, but for now, I'm still thinking about it. I think Minecraft is just going to become a series that I stream now. If I make a Let's Play episode, it's because I didn't want to record anything else that day. Because Minecraft is a game that I play when I got that itch, you know? It's not a game that I want to dedicate serious time to, but there's just something about a few hours of Minecraft that's better than most stuff on the market. And I don't know. There are people with worlds that are over 10 years old, and I'm genuinely happy for them. Because clearly they have something that I couldn't find. But that's just me. I did say, though, that the current Let's Play world will be the final world that I make. Everything else will just be testing purposes, because that will be my world for Minecraft. I haven't done a backup of it, so I might do a backup of it tonight. But that's probably something besides the point. And the reason I keep going off tangents in this series, and in a lot of my series, has to do with the fact that, well, Generation 1 is a series that has been done to death. People know the story of Gen 1, people know how Generation 1 goes, and because of that, there are sometimes instances where I think talking about other non-related topics is more than okay, simply because the story of this game is not new. This has been a game... This is a remake of a game from the 90s, okay? And in 2 years, it'll be the 30th anniversary. And I hope that it's the Heart Gold Soul Silver remix instead of the Black and White 3 like people have been speculating. I mean, some people say, let's just get Gen 10 and not have any remakes from now on because we don't need them anymore. But I still like the context of the Pokemon remix. It was pretty cool. I liked them. Until BDSP. Don't get me wrong, I liked BDSP for what it did. But at the same time, I understand all the disappointments with BDSP, and I know why people don't want Ilka at the helm of another Pokemon game. I don't want them either. I'd want someone new. Or, better yet, have Game Freak do it. Show off Gen 10. Or show to us that the Scarlet and Violet engine can work. Because that engine is horrible. I saw someone try to run that game on Yuzu with the Steam Deck, and he was able to run it, but by goodness, that game lagged like awful. It was horrible how it lagged. Although, hilariously, it did have a higher resolution than a docked Switch, so maybe I should have played that game on PC. I don't know. There's just something about playing this on official Nintendo hardware that you just don't get from an emulator. And it's mostly sentimental nonsense, okay? I play my DS still, because the DS was one of my favorite consoles of all time. I still go back and use it. But I also know that nobody's out here on their 3DS in public. just grinding out levels in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Okay, that's just me, because I like that game. And even then, I also know that sometimes you gotta put games down and focus on things. There's a reason why I have so many videos already saved up on the channel. Because doing this video series, I realized that there are instances where I have to take large breaks from games. Okay, it looks like I'm playing every single day. I'm really not, okay? For the most part, I'll maybe play not counting, how do I say it, like winter break or something where I have time off and I figured, I got nothing else to do, let's play some games, why not? Okay? But during school time, I really don't. And it's noticeable when I'm in school because the uploads become very sparse. They exist, alright, but they're not as frequent as they could be. Still, for the most part, I am enjoying this game to its fullest. I am loving this game. I love seeing Kanto like this. And by goodness, it is just such a nice thing we can have this today. I'm still imagining, though, a free cam version of this game. You know what I think would have helped me enjoy Scarlet and Violet more? Even though it doesn't add anything? A jump button. I think that if the trainer could jump, even if it didn't do much, it would be cool enough. And I would like that a lot. But that's just me. I don't know about anyone else. I know that Pokemon doesn't need a jump button because it's a top-down RPG until Scarlet and Violet, where they give you one in the bicycle with the Miraidon and Koraidon stuff. I'm just saying. I'm just imagining this game with a free camera and higher resolution textures. Oh my goodness, it would be so nice. It would be so nice to have that. I don't know about anyone else, but that's just how I see it. Also, there's just something about this Kanto Dex that I just like so much. The way it's designed, the way it's been balanced for the game. I know that Kanto has the criticism of being an unbalanced Dex, and while it's true that it's unbalanced, in its lack of balance, the multiplayer aspect is actually quite focused. I know that not everybody plays this game multiplayer, but you can. And it's great. I do Generation 1 battles sometimes on simulators, because very few people have a Japanese copy of Red or Blue. I mean, Red, Blue, Yellow, Green. Also, I said this before, I don't understand why there's a time limit on the match time between the Snorlax and the trainer. That's just something I don't get. Also, by this point, we are so blatantly overpowered compared to the enemies that it stops being a challenge anymore. I know that partially has to do with the fact that I do a lot of the grinding that this game asks you to do. I do fight all the trainers off screen because I do not want to be underleveled for this series, but I'm just showing you how easy it is to get overleveled in this. At this point, I am 14 levels higher than the Snorlax that's level 34, who was buffed from the original game as he was level 30 in Red, Blue, Yellow, Green. But I digress. I understand them making games easier for the new generation. I don't like that they do that, but they do. And part of why they do it is because the new generation gets annoyed so easily. I know I'm about to go on my another boomer rant, even though I'm not a boomer, about how yada yada, I think games used to be better back in the day, but they're actually better now. I just don't see it because I'm old. But I'm not old, okay? It's just that it comes with the territory, okay? It turns out that my dad, back in the 90s and 80s, was a gamer, okay? He played video games in the 80s and 90s, and he still has all his systems from back in the day. So I asked him, hey, can I borrow your SNES? Hey, can I borrow your NES? And I went back and played all those classic 80s and 90s games that he grew up playing. And you know what? Sometimes I did wonder if gaming was just better back in the day. I really do. You just put it in your console, no install bullshit, no update bullshit, no balance patch, no paid online. You just put it in your console, put the controller in, boot up your TV, and play the game. Okay? People saying that consoles beat PC because of plug and play are liars. Absolute liars. Plug and play hasn't existed since the early 360 PS3 eras. Once we get to the late half of that, plug and play's gone, okay? Nobody's doing plug and play anymore unless you are playing on old school systems, okay? But that's just how I see it. Genuinely, I think gaming as a whole peaked in early 360 PS3 era, but the golden age was the 90s, and the silver age was PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and Dreamcast era. And even then, Dreamcast died very early in that era, so it wasn't a very long era. How's that? I'm just saying. What is the current age of gaming? I know that the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley like to say it's the platinum age. No, it's not. No, it's not. The current age of gaming, by comparison to the old age of gaming, cannot compare. I'm still of the belief that we were getting more quality titles back then than we are today. Don't get me wrong. There were some stinkers back in the day. There were some games that were terrible back in the day. But at the same time, sometimes I just think to myself, man, this game, when they pull it off well, okay? I think Sonic Frontiers is an example of a game of the modern era that I really enjoy. But I'm just thinking to myself, man, if this was the 2000 Sonic team or the 90 Sonic team, we would have had like 3 Frontiers by now, okay? 3 different Frontiers-like games by now. Or I guess at the time, because technology limited it, 3 different Sonic games back to back. And I just think that was the case. And even then, other studios, for example, GoldenEye. Whatever happened to GoldenEye? I have not heard anyone talk about GoldenEye anymore. I don't know if it died or whatever, or if it's still being made or something, but it's just not something that I hear people talk about anymore. I'm glad Doom is still around. I'm glad that happened. I'm glad Halo's still around, although personally, after playing Infinite, I don't ever want to play Halo again. I just play the first 3 and Reach and have a good time. ODST is cool. I like ODST, but I don't think it compares to 1, 2, 3, and Reach. But that's just me. I know a lot of people who say ODST is their favorite game, and I respect that. It's a good game. I can't deny it. And in the case of Pokemon, you see, over Christmas and New Year's, during my off time, I decided to play Black and White 2, specifically Black 2 version. And you know what? Every second of that playthrough, I was happy. There was no moment during that playthrough where I ever got bored, where I ever found something to complain about. No, none of that. The beginning to end of Black and White 2 was a pure joy. Pure joy. It was unbelievable. I hadn't felt that way about games in a long time. You know, Sonic Frontiers, I gave criticism to the fact that it does drag out towards the end. It requires too many, and you kind of need to play one island a day. Don't marathon that game, you will burn out. And Sister vs. Sister is my biggest complaint. Man, this game is too easy. And those were games that I put really high up this year. I mean, last year. But this game, Black and White 2, there's just something about it that every second I play it, I'm just loving it. I don't even care that a lot of my favorite Pokemon aren't accessible until after beating the main campaign. The Pokemon I have access to are good, and I like them. But that's just that one game. Heart Gold Soul Silver as well, okay? That's a game that I love. Now, I know why people say Black and White 2 is better, because Heart Gold Soul Silver's level curve is horrible. And okay, fine, you can get me there. The Heart Gold and Soul Silver level curve is horrible. But I don't think it hinders the whole experience unless you're doing a challenge run. If you're doing a challenge run, then yeah, sure. But if you're just playing the game normally, it's pretty good. I like it so much that I don't care. Now, in the next episode, we are going to be dealing with one of the most evil situations in Pokemon. We are going to be fighting the Giovanni, the greatest trainer. Step out of the way, or experience a world of pain. Also, I couldn't believe how long I got stuck trying to figure out how to get this Pokeball. So what you didn't see was I edited out about 10 minutes of me trying to figure something out that realistically I could have figured out way sooner. That was embarrassing. I'm glad I did cut that out, because I realized when watching it that I thought it'd be funny to leave it in, but then I realized it's just 10 minutes of me looking at a sign and it's not as fun. Also, once more, Jesse and James are the reason that the Self Company is open, as opposed to the original games that said, oh no, it's asleep. I mean, I know why Jesse and James exist, it's for the casuals, but I think that they do hinder this story. Just having them around, it doesn't work as well. I think that they completely remove a lot of the more, how should I put it? a lot of the more tense aspects of this game, the tense moments, that their presence does hinder it a bit. Because in the anime, if you watch the anime, they really don't accomplish that much. In fact, they kind of kill the tone of the series. But here, like, they also kill the tone. Now, don't get me wrong, Gen 1 isn't exactly a dark game. No, not at all. But it's a game where I still took the enemy team as a threat. I still said to myself, man, these guys are evil. They gotta be stopped. I didn't think they were... Okay, they were definitely not the criminal of free worlds from Neptunia, for example. But they were still something that needed to be defeated. And I respected that. Don't get me wrong, this game has a lot of issues with its text. If you actually look at the worst example of the censorship has to come from the Pokemon Tower. That was the worst case. One of them, Give Me Your All, is a terrible, terrible case of censorship. In the original, for example, she just said, give me blood. And I thought, like, wow, this possession is horrendous. We gotta put a stop to this. But when you say give me your all, I can't take it seriously. But that's it for this episode. See you all in the next one. Have a nice day.